Hello everyone, today we're going to the Fortress of Santa Teresa in Uruguay, originally built in 1762 by the Portuguese. This was part of my September 2025 trip to Uruguay, where I got a rental car. At the entrance of the fort, this is a plaque to commemorate the bicentennial of the fortress, 1762 to 1962. This is what the entrance to the fortress looks like, so it's kind of a classic colonial period star fortress. So you can see this is the back of the fortress, and each corner of the star has one of those little observation posts. And one cool thing inside this fortress is you're going to see a lot of cannons. So each of the four different corners of the star fortress, they have these emplacements with the cannons. So you go from one side to the other side, and cannons and more cannons. And then when we go down the ramp here at the back side of the fortress, on the right, you will be able to see the church right there on the right side, and then on the top, the church bell. And then the long building there on the left is now a museum. I want to give a view from like the top of the wall, so you can kind of see out there that there's not really anything. The fortress is in the middle of nowhere on the top of a hill. You can see cannons. And then you look over across some buildings, more cannons. You can see the church over there. And then this is kind of the view that you get just looking down a cannon. So again, you see there, even today there's just trees, just forest. And they did actually have some old cannons, which is really cool. So this one looks like 1813 to me. And then this is one of those, guard tower observation posts there. You can see there's little holes where you can look around, relative safety. And then they even have the latrines, so you can see what the bathrooms look like in the fortress. Very cozy. One part of the museum had a replica of the fort Santa Teresa. But not only that, they had replicas of like every fort or historic fortification in Uruguay. They had, I don't know, roughly a dozen, maybe a little more than a dozen of those. And then something else that was really neat, or I really liked, was they actually had a series of photos from when the fortress was restored in the 1920s and 30s. So I think it's really interesting to see what it looked like back then. And there you can see all the cattle running through. Is the car that's stuck on the way there. So I thought that was really interesting that they had those pictures and information. And then this statue of Colonel Leonardo Oliveira was outside. And what was really neat about that, I thought, was the actual you could see the bird nest, and then, the bird on top of them. Thought that looked really cool. Plus, like the way the statue has weathered, you see that kind of greenish yellowish colors. Thought that looked really interesting. And then there was a massive cow pie, or massive cow pies outside, because they graze the cattle around the fortress, landscaping or cutting the grass. So again, thank you for watching, and please check out the website.